Welcome. I'm Adam Miller, a consultant with the Art of Applying and a graduate of the University of Virginia's Darden School of Business. Today we'll be looking at a question from our Q&A vault about the NYU Stern Pick 6. So let's dive in and see what the client asked our consulting team.
Hey there, you're watching Ask the Art of Applying. In this series, admissions experts on our team answer real questions from our clients who are navigating the grad school application process. Watch this series to gain perspective and get real expert answers to your most pressing application questions. And if you're interested in learning more about the expert advice, editing, and guidance we provide for the grad school application process, watch the free training in the link below in the description. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more application success stories, application tips, advice, and encouragement. Enjoy the video.
They really just, in this question, explain what the Pick 6 is and then ask for tips. So let's get into exactly what the Pick 6 at NYU Stern is. It's basically where you have to pick 6 photographs and give a clever caption for each of them with 3 optional sentences at the very top just to describe what it is that made you decide to pick these photographs. So you don't want to overthink too much of the text here. Really, the important thing is to pick photographs that mean something to you so that the words will come out of you. So let's go ahead and take a look at the advice that 2 of our consultants weighed in on, as well as one other student who actually spoke to some current students at the time of this question being written on what they said that current students advised for, at least what worked for them. So the first consultant says, "What an interesting piece of the application. It almost sounds like the equivalent of an artist's or an architect's portfolio." Yeah, it's very similar. I also think of it kind of like if you have a friend who has like a dating profile, that's basically what's going on here. Is you don't want to just highlight what your career has looked like and reiterate parts of your application about the projects you've worked on and how much fun you're having in the office. This should be about who you are more generally as a person. She goes on to say, "This is one more opportunity for the admissions committee to get to know you. I think you can use this to showcase a variety of qualities about you that's not necessarily in the rest of your materials. You could also use this to literally illustrate a piece of your application. You probably already went through this exercise to some degree, but you could use this opportunity, right? Because that's what our, this Q&A vault is for. You could actually bounce these ideas back and forth with folks here if you'd like, as a client of ours, and you could brainstorm together about how to do so." And she actually does do that, but we're not going to get into too many of the details there because we want to protect her unique answers. So then lastly, Virginia says, "Here's some things to think about: who you are now, who you've been in the past, both professionally and personally, things that you enjoy doing, people that you enjoy spending time with, and then if you really want to, try to bring it towards maybe having a photograph about why you want to go after the MBA and having sort of a clever future photograph about how that will help you achieve your goals." So I know these are some big bullet points, she says, but I think this is a great get to know you activity as though you were meeting someone brand new for the first time. What are the kinds of things you'd share about yourself? You wouldn't just list off your resume. And another way to think of this is that sometimes the schools use this information to highlight who is entering the class. Now, the schools probably will try to, at least the admissions people, because they're going to read all of these, they may remember some of the things from your Pick 6, but don't worry about them turning around and publishing these to the rest of the class. They would never do that without your permission, but they may come back to you later and say, "Hey, that was actually a really interesting thing. Would you mind if we now wrote a blog piece for the website about you, or highlighted you to poets and quants, or various other things that they might want to use to highlight how unique their class is, either internally or externally, but they're not going to do that without your permission. Since you're constrained to a 1-sentence caption, you could work with your consultant to make sure your 1 sentence is impactful as possible." And then our CEO, Kenesha, weighs in and says, "Great advice. Feel free to throw out ideas and get feedback from us right here in the chat. You could write out a bullet point of your Pick 6 options and get input from us on which ones we think are most compelling." She also says that there's another client who did something similar with a video essay, so maybe that will inspire her. She thanks us. And then lastly, we will end here with something that another client wrote in the chat here about how she went and actually talked to some current students about what they put. So she says, I attended NYU's Diversity Day, and I second what Virginia and Kenesha said. Current students showed us some examples of their pick sixes, because they saved them, and they included photographs of their families, meaningful trips they'd went on, and photos of them performing their hobbies. Exactly. Surprisingly, a lot of them did not include anything career path related. That makes sense because the admissions committee already knows a ton about your career from the rest of your application. But it can be whatever picks are interesting or meaningful to you to help them get to know you better. Hope that helps. So that's it for today's video about NYU Stern's Pick 6. If you want any help getting into your dream school, please reach out to us at theartofapplying.com.